guys, it's Rachel. On my channel, we talk about reading and writing. I did just freshly style my hair and it is not dry all the way. I apologize for looking wet. Today we're doing the mid-year freakout tag for BookTube, and I don't think people realize how old this tag is. I remember this tag being around when I was reading book blogs back in the day, and I even had like a little one. I will not tell you where to find it. I was 14. It was a ride. Anyway, so that being said, I really don't remember where exactly it originated. I always thought that it was it the same people that came out with Top 10 Tuesday back in the day? Am I crazy? I don't remember now. But the thing is, there's a lot of different variations that are around there with different questions. I remember when I was doing it, like when I was 14, there would be like 30 freaking questions. So the version that I found, I don't even remember which specific one I was looking at. I looked at a couple different ones. Let me check my notes. I have like 13 or 14 questions. There was one that I saw after the fact and I was like, okay, maybe I'll do it. So anyway, the point is everyone's looks a little bit different because there's so many different versions of it going around. But anyway, first question for this tag. What's the best book you've read so far in 2025? And for me, I'm going to go with a nonfiction, Dreamland by Sam Quinones. I technically did not read the full version. I read the young adult adaptation because it was on sale. And I figured then it could go into my classroom library, and that's exactly what I did. It was honestly so good. So if you're not familiar with Dreamland, it's talking basically about the history of the opioid epidemic in the United States, starting with pill mills in, southern Ohio and people getting hooked on OxyContin as the pharmaceutical companies were pushing that drug. And then like the most perfect, horrible timing, black tar heroin dealers started to come in from other countries, and it was just kind of this perfect storm because black tar heroin was going to fulfill these people's addictions that were on OxyContin for far cheaper prices. So it just gives a lot of context into the issues that we're still seeing today because of it, and I think it's just a really interesting, complete history. I definitely recommend it if you are all interested in this topic. I think that Sam does a great job. Some people say that the full version's repetitive, and then some people complain that the YA version is not complete enough. So pick your poison. I had a great time with the YA adaptation. I can't talk. Number 2, best sequel. Not applicable this year. I've only read one. I read like one omnibus of sequels, and it doesn't really go in. I wouldn't say it goes into the best category because it's like an old throwback that I was reading. That was the only one, and other than that, I haven't read any sequels this year and wasn't really wowed. So that's kind of different. I noticed that I've taken a little bit of a break from series, not necessarily intentionally. Maybe it is intentionally. I don't know, because it just felt like when I was a teenager, all I read were series, and now I feel like, I don't know, maybe intentionally I wanted a little break. I am currently still reading through the Ring books by Koji Suzuki. I need to read the book Loop. The second book, Spiral, was like not that good. So I've been putting off on Loop. So I'm in the middle of reading that, or in the process of reading that, I should say. And is that it? Yeah, we'll see in the months and years to come if I kind of have a rebound back to series, and if it's something I start up again, and maybe I'll go through another phase where instead of reading a lot of standalones, I read a lot of series. I'm not sure. We'll see. Number 3, biggest surprise. I think I'm going to go with We've Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I was just, in some ways it's exactly what I expected, but in other ways not what I expected, if that makes any sense at all. Like, I guess I just didn't expect to like it as much as I did, because I feel like I was mainly reading it because I wanted to read another Shirley Jackson, and the synopsis itself wasn't the key reason I was drawn to it for that reason. I really wanted to read more Shirley. So I think I was just really surprised by just how invested I was, by just how psychologically bizarre the family was. The writing style, I know I talked about this in my last wrap up, is just, it really jumps off the page. The bluntness in the main character's disdain for the village. where she lives, or the town, I should say, and just this take on ostracism, what can cause it, how we can deal with it, and things like that. It's just, I don't know, it was, I expected to like it. I don't think I expected to really fall into it as quickly as I did and get really sucked in. So I really liked that one. Biggest disappointment? A Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand. My bad. Sorry, Cynthia. Elizabeth Hand. So this one was approved by Shirley Jackson's estate. It was an authorized sequel approved by her estate to The Haunting of Hill House. I guess I have read another sequel. It's this one, but I just don't. I don't consider it a sequel, I guess. Not because Shirley Jackson herself didn't write it. I do appreciate that her estate gave it permission. I just did not like this at all. I thought that all of the characters were hugely insufferable, and that just made it hard to root for literally anyone or anything in this book. And some of the spook factor was really good. Some of it, I was just kind of like, I don't know. I wasn't blown away. I didn't like it. So yeah. Number 5, a new release you haven't read yet, but want to. I did just buy Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I've never read a V.E. Schwab before, and since I did, I actually buy it. I think I should probably get to that soon. And then, what else? Oh, The Influencers by Anna Marie McElmore. I still haven't gotten to that yet, but I do really like Anna Marie, and this is their adult debut. And it covers a topic that I think is really interesting. So it deals with this family that, you know, they were like family vloggers, right? And there's like a murder, and you're kind of seeing the perspective of like who were the kids of this vlog family. And I'm assuming that it's going to touch a lot on the exploitation of children in the family vlogger sphere, which is super disturbing. Yeah, Influencers, even though it's a fiction book, it's definitely touching on a very real issue that's happening right now. So my most anticipated release for the second half of the year, that is the next question, definitely going to be We Love You, Bunny. Blows my mind that we're getting a sequel to Bunny by Mona Awad. To be honest, I'm almost a little scared because the synopsis, some of it is going to take you through the events of Bunny through Bunny's perspective. I don't know. There's something about the synopsis. I just feel like I'm either going to really love it or really hate it. I hope I really love it because I love Bunny so much. One little aside is that Goodreads has had so many giveaways for We Love You, Bunny. And even though this is a book I really anticipate reading, I've given up on putting myself into the giveaways because every single time that you enter a Goodreads giveaway, they will add that specific edition that they're giving away onto your shelf. So then it creates a situation, if I end up in 5 different giveaways for a book, I end up with at least 5 different editions of that book on my shelves. And I don't like my Goodreads to be cluttered like that. I like one edition of the book on my to-read pile. That's it. I really wish that they would fix that because I would enter in like way more giveaways if it didn't do that. Especially the ones that get repeated a lot, because then I have to remember and go back and delete those from my shelves. Am I the only person that's crazy about that? Do you guys hate that? I don't know. Let me know. Number 7, favorite new author. I'm going to say probably Frida Hughes. I read her poetry collection 45, and I definitely want to read more. So she's the daughter of Sylvia Plath and Ted Hughes, so that's already pretty legit. But like, that aside, her poetry is actually quite nice. Her collection 45, it was like a poem representing each year of her life from ages 1 to 45, and it was really good and really insightful. And I'm just really interested in seeing how else, like what other writing she has out there, especially because I did read one other poem online that wasn't in that collection, and it was actually about her mother, and it was so good. It was literally so good. So yeah, I want to read more by Frida for sure. I think that even though I gave 45 a 4 out of 5, I feel like I've only read that one book. I can't really say that she's my new favorite author yet, but I feel like out of everyone that I've read this year that was new to me, she has the most potential. Well, and I guess Shirley Jackson too, because I read We've Always Lived in the Castle. That's only the second book I read by her, and it was such a winner, and Haunting of Hill House is one of my favorite books of all time. I really can't say that she was one of my favorite authors necessarily, just because I was obsessed with one book, I feel. So I guess in that same way, Shirley Jackson is also kind of solidifying herself as one of my favorites. My 8th question that I have written here is newest fictional crush. I don't have one. And I think it's because I'm not really reading those types of books right now. I'm not really reading much with romance or romance subplots. And I feel like those are the situations where you end up with like a crush on a character. And I guess there's other contexts where you can too. It's just, yeah, I just don't have one this year. Sorry. As far as newest favorite character, I think I have to go with, and this might sound demented, because I feel like my favorite characters that I've read this year were probably mostly in my Hunger Games reread. I love Katniss, I love Peeta, and oh my god, Cinna. I almost forgot about how much I love Cinna. And Rue. Rue's so cute. But anyway, if I'm thinking about like new to me books this year, I feel like I would have to go with Maricat from We've Always Lived in the Castle. Like, she's crazy, but that's what makes her so compelling. Like, she's not my favorite in the sense that I can really relate to her at all. I can't. But she's such an interesting character. Some of the stuff that she does is so weird in that book, and she feels so blunt and irrational and real, if that makes sense at all. I feel like that sounds contradictory, but yeah. I think that she might be my new favorite character out of this set, because she's going to always be probably the most memorable. You know what? Back it up for a second. Back it up. Uncle Julian from We've Always Lived in the Castle. He was always making me laugh, I feel like, when I was reading it. So I don't know. He's also a contender. Shirley Jackson's characterization is so strong. I love it so much. Which is why it hurt me so much, I think, that A Haunting on the Hill had characters that were just too unlikable. Shirley Jackson makes her characters likable yet unlikable. Like, charming, but like crazy. So then number 10, book that made me cry. Only The Hunger Games, honestly. My reread for that. Nothing else did. So, are we surprised? No. It's totally different. Number 11. Book that made me happy. Probably have I told you this already. This is a memoir by Lauren Grant. The full title is Have I Told You This Already? Stories I Don't Want to Forget to Remember. So Lauren Grant played Lorelai in Gilmore Girls, and this is just kind of a collection of essays on different, like, reflecting on different things in her life. And she's funny. So yeah, I would say I had a pretty happy time reading this. Not to say that there's no other emotional depth, but overarchingly, this is pretty upbeat and happy. So the next one was like, I saw 2 different versions. So one was like the most beautiful book I bought this year. I barely bought any books this year, but I'm going to go with Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I think that one's really pretty. I love the blue. But as far as like maybe the favorite cover of something I read this year, probably Paranormal Ranger by Stanley Milford Jr. That one's really pretty. I like that one a lot. And lastly, books that I want to read by the end of the year. I'm such a mood reader that, like, do we even know? Do we even care? But probably Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, in addition to all of my backlist books, and then probably The Influencers, like I mentioned before. Oh, and We Love You, Bunny. I'll probably have to read that one right away, because I don't want to get it spoiled. So, thank you for tuning in. Let me know in the comments how you would have answered some of these questions, or if you made a video for this tag, let me know. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!